In Los Angeles, local officials desperate for information on a black teenager who was killed, her body dumped on a busy freeway. Police say the body of 16-year-old Tioni Theus was discovered 3 weeks ago and hope a reward of $110,000 will help yield information that leads to an arrest.
CNN's Stephanie Elam joins us live from Los Angeles, and it's just heartbreaking when you see these images of her as well. Steph, what can you tell us about who this young lady was and why it took so long for this case to get the public's attention?
Yeah, because you're talking about January 8th, Bianna and Jim, since we actually know that this is when she was discovered on the side of the 110 freeway on an off-ramp, a very busy highway here in Los Angeles. According to the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner, she died from a gunshot wound to the neck. We know she was discovered in the early morning hours. Not clear how she got there, but this is why they are turning to the public to find out if she can, if anyone knows what happened to her. So there's a $110,000 reward is put out there. It's from the state, the county, and the city all coming together to try to figure out if someone has any leads that leads to a conviction and arrest in this case. Obviously, people are upset that it's been since January 8th that this young girl, Tioni Theus, that no one has said what has happened. That is just now becoming something that people are talking about in the public. In fact, take a listen to Holly Mitchell, who's a Los Angeles County supervisor, and Mike Gibson, the California State Assembly member, talk about the case here with Tioni.
It is imperative that we not allow implicit bias or the adultification of Black girls to continue to influence the lack of media coverage or public outrage over their murders.
A 16-year-old child, she's someone's daughter that was taken away from us senselessly. And for the cowards who did this, we're going to muster the resources that's necessary to bring you to justice.
And it's worth noting that the LA County District Attorney George Gascon has already gotten involved in this case, which is unusual considering the fact that there's no suspect and there are no charges yet. But they are saying from his office that they do believe that there are signs that she may have been human trafficked and that she might have been a victim of sexual exploitation based on some court documents. So they're looking to find whoever is responsible for this child's murder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Clearly, this investigation is just beginning now. The wait has been too long, but hopefully some answers will start coming in. Thank you, Stephanie Elam.
Yeah, just a child.
She just left. So I picked her up, she was crying, I kissed her, gave her a hug. I didn't know it was gonna be the last kiss. But I felt good telling her I love her.
Now to another top story, the murder of Tioni Theus. Her father speaking out, remembering his 16-year-old daughter, whose body was found on the side of a freeway off-ramp in South L.A. It's been 2 weeks since Theus was killed, and the questions surrounding her death are mounting.
Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez is live in Inglewood. And Christina, what an interview with that father today.
You know, and her father is a very well-known, long-time shop owner here in Inglewood, which is, as far as we know, the last place where she was seen alive by a family member. Watch.
That was my baby girl.
Darian Jackson's baby girl was Tioni Theus. The 16-year-old was found shot to death at the Manchester on-ramp of the 110 freeway in South L.A. The night before, she told her dad she was going to a party.
She just left. So I picked her up, she was crying, I kissed her, gave her a hug. I didn't know it was gonna be the last kiss. So I feel like something was really wrong that night when she came.
You had a feeling?
I begged her to stay. I said, just stay with me.
Tioni had struggled since her mother was so badly injured in a hit and run. The mom is now living in a rehabilitation facility due to her injuries.
She said, nobody loved me. Because her mom, she's the only person who loved me was my mom. I said, that's not true. I love you.
Tioni's case is in the hands of CHP investigators who say they don't believe she was shot where she was found. Her family has been holding vigils trying to get more coverage for the case, which has gotten less attention than other recent murders, like that of furniture store employee Brianna Kaffer in Hancock Park.
It's troubling and disturbing because she was a young girl, 16 years old, who was shot to death and body was dumped in the freeway like she was garbage.
We live in two different worlds. You got the rich people, you got the poor people. middle class people, and we on the other side. You know, if I was a rich person, they probably would have found the killer by now. Who knows? But I think the Highway Patrol, I talked to him. He's a good detective. He said he's doing everything he can.
The case has definitely gotten our attention, and of course, it's top priority, trying to, finalize this case and get justice for the family. So, the difference is obviously we don't have surveillance cameras like, other types of incidents that may be occurring in other areas. So, of course, we rely a lot on the public, right, to call us and, did you see anything?
Investigators and Tioni's father are asking anyone, please come forward.
I can't take it. I don't have no more left in me.
And he says that because he's burying his daughter. 4 years ago, he had to bury his 19-year-old son who was shot when he was leaving work. It's a case that has yet to have any resolution for him. So on our website at Fox LA, perhaps you can give some information to the CHP. The contact numbers are there, and perhaps give this man and his family much-needed resolution, at least in this case. We'll keep you updated on updates. I'm Christina Gonzalez, live in Inglewood. Back to you guys.
A candlelight vigil tonight for a murdered 16-year-old girl. The family of Theus is asking for the public's help in capturing her killer. The girl's body was found on the side of the 110 freeway on January 8th. And Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter is live outside the LAPD 77th Division with more on this story. Leanne.
Yeah, an emotional plea tonight from the victim's family, desperate to catch her killer. She was just 16 years old. Her family pleading for anyone with any information to come forward. Just take a look. This is a picture of 16-year-old Tioni Theus. As I said, that young girl was found dead along the freeway. Her body discovered along the southbound 110 on-ramp at Manchester. It happened January 8th. Drivers noticing her body around 8 a.m. and calling authorities. Investigators say that she had been murdered, her body simply dumped along the roadside. The CHP investigating the murder, the LAPD also joining that investigation. Tonight, her family again pleading for the public's help.
We're talking about a 16-year-old, and we're not talking about an adult. We're talking about a 16-year-old child. She was thrown on the side of the freeway like trash, and she's a child. She meant something to her family.
To be left on the side of the street of a roadway, 16 years of age, it's just insanity. The evil that's behind that, to take a life, a young, promising life.
The chief, as well as Theus's family, say they know that there are people out there who know exactly what happened to her, and they are pleading with them to come forward. If you have any information, you are urged to call authorities. Back live now here, a very emotional service and vigil here for that 16-year-old. Again, that family, heartfelt plea, trying to get any answers they can to her murder.